And I think we're live. Let me see. So it looks like it's
I would
streaming
say,
live.
I would say, just don't touch anything if you can help it.
that would be awesome if I can do that. All right, it looks like we're
I
live
get it.
again. There we go. This time I've actually
That's
got rain on, guys. So whoever we're gonna get bouncing into the chat, I know everyone bounced out because I actually paused it, canceled it, and we're starting all over again. And we've got Enorum. Enorum is the first one on the chat tonight. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can get this open again. So we got Enorum. We got WB is back. All right, everyone's going to start bouncing back in again. This is good. So, all right, we got people bouncing back on. And so I obviously have a problem with OBS. We'll figure that part out. We still got Rain with us. And we're just bouncing right into the stream with the call-in. So we'll start over again because I'm not sure if you guys heard us when we first started out. But I've got Rain on the other line. Rain, you still with me?
what's that? I'm sorry.
Could you hear? You could hear me, right? I've still got you with me.
Yeah, yeah. I'm still there. Can they hear me?
Yeah, they should be able to hear you. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear Rain. Bubba Shipe
Hello,
said he's not
hello.
impressed
Rain
yet.
in the house on the set.
All right, getting better. Yeah, I'm getting better. Almost impressed. Bubba, can you hear Rain? I just need
Hello, it's
an
Frank.
affirmative. Yes, we could hear him the first time. All right, we've got Tina Hall with us now. Awesome. All right, this is good. Let people bounce on. So, Rain, what's new out there on the West Coast? And you're so close to Ripple. When are you going to go and visit?
Yeah, yeah. I've contemplated that many times on heading out over there. I don't know. I thought about maybe if I could call them, talk to someone at the front desk and see if they would give me a tour. I don't know how that works, but that would be freaking awesome.
That'd be
As
sweet.
far as California goes, we've been rocking and shaking over here. Some earthquakes. I've heard other stories though that it's something other than regular earthquakes.
Huh? Meaning,
If you
because you guys are up to what, like a 6 point something. How
there
many
was
have there been, right?
7 point. There was a 7.1, but I'm hearing from the word on the street. I'm hearing that it's part of the reset that they're destroying underground bases.
Interesting.
I can't make that stuff up, man. One of the quakes was under one of the bases out there in the desert,
Really?
and it was directly underneath it. And supposedly they're doing some wild stuff out there. They were doing some secret weapons stuff and mind control, and it gets pretty wild when you go down the rabbit hole. I don't know. I don't really want to go too deep into it. I don't want to get you like knocked off the air or
Right.
anything.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Let's sidestep that one. But everybody's okay. You haven't seen any major damage. I thought I saw one of the freeways was a little messed up.
Yeah, the roads down in SoCal, some of them split, and a lot of shaking, a lot of infrastructure damage, but no one got hurt, so that's a good thing. I got family down there. I
Hmm.
haven't been able to talk to them, but I think they're okay.
Which area was it in primarily? It was all Southern Cal.
Yeah, that's all SoCal. I didn't feel anything, but it was felt as far as Mexico. I think up in San Francisco, I want to say maybe.
Oh wow. Oh, that's
I mean, we
crazy.
got we got the freaking San Andreas Fault, man. That goes a long ways.
Yep. Huh. Yeah. Well,
But I tend to believe it was not natural.
okay.
That's just my opinion. That's my opinion.
Yep. That's crazy though. That's really crazy.
But
Yeah.
there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. We had the celebration that was banned by most of the fake news. The Fourth of July celebration in the Capitol, and it was amazing. It just made me feel proud to be alive right now, being American, and that we have a leader that's so proud of us and working towards making things better. And there's going to be a lot of things happening. A lot of disclosure is going to be coming out. Supposedly there were some UFO sightings overhead, over the fireworks and all that. I think that some of that stuff is our crafts.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things happening right now, just not just XRP.
Yeah, it's really impressive. You know, I mean, you think about what's happening overall and what the impact is. You know, and you know, you look at from a political perspective, from an economic perspective. You know, and then you look, you know, domestic as well as internationally. I think this one variable you just brought up, and I think it's interesting because a couple of years ago, you know, people would look at you. You know, if you talk about UFOs, people would say, "Oh, you know, that's it. You know, you're a little too fringe, and you know,
Yeah,
don't want to talk to you anymore on a show." You know,
right,
but
right.
you know, but here, you know, mainstream media has been reporting about UFO sightings, and you know, they're talking about with the Navy. You know, the Navy pilots are seeing UFOs on a you know increased interval. You know, and there's just a lot. It's just interesting. I think, you know, and here we are
Well,
going into digital currencies and, you know, a whole, you know, everything's changing right now. It's amazing.
right, right. We're literally in the middle of the Great Awakening, dude, and the reset is already happening. It's happening right now as we speak. Trump's already moving guys into position that actually a guy and a woman that are going to be going on to the Fed. Hopefully they get through because they're all about sound monetary policy, and they're talking about. I mean, he's literally talking about the gold standard, dude. So it's happening. The gold's going to back up the currency, whatever they call our new currency. I don't know what that's going to be, but it's going to be backed by gold, possibly silver, and I really believe it's going to run across the Ripple net. And we are in for a freaking exciting future. A lot of things are happening. Like I said, disclosure is coming on multiple levels, and we're talking about life-changing events that are occurring right now. Most people are asleep, though; they don't even know what's going on. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you see a ton of change. You know, definitely, you know, in you know in the banking realm, you know, there's a lot of things happening. You know, you saw Deutsche Bank is now making some big changes. They're about to lay off 11,000 people. You know, and just overall, you know, I think you're right. You know, there's pieces are being put into place. You know what's really interesting in economics and politics are going into an area and a realm that you know we haven't really you know experienced before. You know, there's just so much you know tension domestically. You know, and you know I think a lot of it is on purpose. You know, they always try to divide and conquer. You know, and it, to some extent they've managed that. But you know, when I look around and I see so many other changes where people are starting to come together, you know, and mainly it's because you know we have a leader in the free world that believes you know a little bit differently you know than everybody else and does believe in you know making things better. You know, unlike everyone else who's constant, you know, it's all ulterior motive, you know, to take
Yeah.
advantage of their position of power. And here's an
Right.
individual that's been in a position of power. And, you know, yes, does he have an ulterior motive? You know, I don't know. You know, maybe, you know, there's really nowhere else for him to go other than at this point, you know, you know, run to be president, you know, but he's given back to society, you know, and that's what we have to really commend this individual for. You know, we're talking about, you know,
Well,
President Trump and the rest of the world sees it. The rest of the world for years has been looking for a leader in the free world to step up, you know,
right.
and now we have that, you know. So Bubba Shipes just said Trump will find jobs for the 18,000 layoffs from Deutsche Bank. Yeah.
Hey, well, they're predicting. I think it was like within the next decade that 30 million jobs will be lost due to automation. So a lot of things have to change. A lot of people have to change their what they're doing as careers. I've heard a lot of things. I've heard that we're going to go to a minimum freaking living wage, and then if you want to like better yourself above that, then you can have your own business or do music or I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, it's possible that we do that. When we do the reset, that it changes on that level. If we get rid of the central bankers, we get rid of all the interest. all the scamming that's going on, all the theft of our money and everything else that's going, the raping of our country as a whole. I think a lot of things are possible. There's also going to be, cures for a lot of diseases that are going to be released due to the people that are in power controlling that stuff are not going to control it anymore. And then you're going to have, I think, honestly, free electricity. You're going to have a lot of things that are going to come out. They're going to allow all the technology to be revealed along with the UFOs that we are actually flying around. And we are not alone, but we have the T338B or something like that. And it's that black triangle craft that's always being spotted. Supposedly that's one of our crafts. So that stuff's coming out. It's just awesome. Life-changing. It's life-changing.
It really is, and I think, we're and it's exciting to see, these adjustments. For too long they talked about the New World Order. They talked about a one world currency, and I don't really believe in any of that. I do believe in national sovereignty, but at the same time, with national sovereignty, I believe that there's still a need for that. Maybe in some utopia society we won't need that, but for right now we do. But what's important is that that we're moving in a direction, to allow, everybody to better themselves. And, for too long, we haven't seen that. We see a lot of lip service, from different parties. We see a lot of lip service that have come from, obviously different governments, different non-government agencies. And now times are going to change. You know why? Because it's allowing people, and through this technology, through digital asset and blockchain technology, we're going to get more transparency. So we're going to be able to hold people accountable. But at the same time, there's a leveling of the playing fields, meaning that everybody now is going to have an equal opportunity to better themselves. And that's really what it's all about.
Yeah, I agree strongly, because we see it every day where you have different blockchain projects that are coming on board, and they're geared towards people that have been getting screwed for a long time, whether it be artists, musicians, whatever, small business people even. They're going to have access to the world. To, like, I think you've talked about it before, where a person won't have to deal with some freaking bully, multinational or billionaire or whatever that's saying, oh, I'm only going to pay you this much for your coffee or whatever it is. They'll be able to sell directly to the public, just like with music and entertainment of all kinds. Things are changing. Social media is going to freaking change. I think a lot of social media will go away, and the blockchain will replace it, and it will be non-centralized. So it'll be decentralized. It's going to be amazing. And that's just part of it. I think healthcare is going to change. A lot of things are going to change to where it's going to be just the most amazing time to be alive,
That's right. Yep. I just want to shoot over to the chat. People are definitely commenting here. I know you haven't been able to see here, but just to clarify a few things, and I think some interesting, comments to throw into the conversation here. Hang on, we've got a few more people bounced on. Tina Hall, we got Gaming Crypto, Annalise George, Matt Richter bounced in. Let me see here. We got XRP Hodler bounced in. Are you watching? It's great. We got a lot of people bouncing into the stream tonight. But also some of the. Yeah, go ahead. I was going to say, so just some clarifiers here too. So, XRP Hodler said so many things are converging with Deutsche Bank, Italy, Brexit, etc. And the Bubba Shipes. I read that comment, but I'm trying to find. Hang on a second. Here we go. So WB was mentioning that that Deutsche Bank quit the global equity business. And that's the key. It's such a major change for them. And so, I think, everything that you just said, we're definitely, definitely in a transition period. And I think we're all kind of in the right spot watching this transition period. It's crazy.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. It's like, I think about everything that I've been involved in for years, and, I've been political for a long time, but I've gotten more awake than I've ever been in this past year, because, like, after I moved last year, It was a little rough for me moving, bought a house, sold another house, and it was a rough time. And I took a break from crypto a little bit, got back into crypto a lot heavier. And I also went down many, many rabbit holes that have woken me up to so many things. It is mind blowing. I'm not the only one that's discovering these things. And it's on all levels. It's spiritual, it's frequency, it's freaking just love, and peace, and, having harmony with everyone, and not being controlled by the mind control system that's been, on this earth for years and years. When Kennedy was shot and killed, that's when everything changed. That's when America was hijacked, and we are taking it back. And not only are we taking America back, but the world is reclaiming all of their sovereignty and being able to do their own thing. And then once the central banks go back to the countries of origin and they leave the hands of the evil ones, then we are going to be freaking golden. And XRP is right at the center of all of it. I mean, that's what blows my mind. It really is. It ties everything together.
That's right. Yep. It's awesome. It's really amazing. You brought something up interesting on healthcare, and healthcare is different, in different parts of the world. We've got the United States, we have something called sick care, which is basically keeping everybody sick. And even when you go to, you say the United States has by far the best emergency care of any other country in the world. Hands down, if you get into an accident, you're better off being in the United States than anywhere else in the world. In the United States, you have more access. For the most part, there's a few countries that you could, put in there as well. But for the most part, you have more access to doctors of any specialty. You have more access to imaging equipment. So if you need to get an MRI, you need to get a CT scan, you need to get whatever it is, you can go down the street and find somewhere to get that done today. You go over to the UK and you're going to be hard pressed to find something like that. You go over to a lot of parts of Europe, anywhere else in the world. For the most part, it's really difficult, to find direct access to things like that. Now that comes with a big however, because in the United States, when they focus on sick care, we're basically just keeping the cycle going. They focus in on one symptom, but they don't really go into full causation. They're just looking at the symptom and how do you put a Band-Aid on the symptom and how do you push people back out, on the street, knowing that those people are going to come back sick again, and that's the economic stream.
Residual income.
Exactly, you hit it right on the head. Residual income, and it's a bad thing. A lot of doctors are struggling now with the moral implication of what that means. So if you think about a patient as residual income, that definitely has moral implication, and it's very difficult for many individuals to continue down that path, where at the same time, they're also looking for, ways to actually, how do you better people? How do you progress and provide well care instead of sick care? If you and this is the interesting dynamic, because in certain countries, they have, and in this country also you have an area of medicine called regenerative medicine, which is PRP, which is platelet-rich plasma, and bone marrow stem cell therapy. There's a lot of talk about stem cell therapy, and all of you guys watching have probably seen the different ads pop up all over the place. What's interesting is that in the United States, we're relatively handcuffed, due to FDA guidance, FDA guideline. So similar to the way we're more or less handcuffed when it comes to regulatory clarity and the advancement within the digital asset space, and we're waiting for regulatory clarity from the SEC, the FDA also holds a stranglehold on this growth within the regenerative medicine space. So there's a lot of parallels to it. Now, if you go overseas, you go to Japan, you go to Germany, you go to a lot of other places around the world, and what they can do is actually harvest stem cells out of your bone marrow, and they can culture them, and they could turn a couple 100,000 into millions of stem cells, and then they re-inject that back into your body to help heal injuries. And right now you can do that somewhat with PRP, which is you remove blood, you spin it down, and you get the and you get the platelet rich plasma, and that's a concentrated amount of all the healing properties, and you have that re-injected back into you. But that also overseas can be cultured and duplicated. But in the United States, you're not allowed to do that. The FDA is very controlling of what's happening in this space, and unfortunately, there's some within the U.S. that are taking advantage of this space and declaring certain things as stem cell product that really isn't. But what happens overseas, it's amazing. So that's this this dynamic that we're seeing, and I think we're seeing a major shift in the United States. In many different respects, like you just said. So we have political, we have healthcare, and we have economic. And the digital asset side of it, there's so much intersect, between all of these things. So if you look at it from a perspective of digital asset and healthcare alone, what is that going to do for people? You get people more independence of economics, and you allow people to heal themselves. How amazing is that?
I mean, that's huge. Yeah, you think about that. You think about the spiritual level of everything, and the conscience level of everything's being, risen to a higher level. We're going, into a higher level, different phase of consciousness. We're moving towards more of a positive vibe going around, and I think more and more people are waking up to that, of all ages, whether you're a teenager, a millennial, freaking older, whatever. And it's going to make a big difference. And then once we stop all the senseless wars, and once we stop all the wasting and the theft of our intellectual property, our money, our land, our country, and the rest of the world, and the resources that are being squandered, and the actual people that are destroying the earth rather than being the ones that are helping to heal the earth, they're actually destroying it. At the same time, they're pushing global warming and hiding behind that, and then trying to control us with taxes, carbon taxes and everything else. I mean, look at Al Gore, how rich that guy's gotten off of freaking the phony climate change. The earth is changing, it always has, always will. The poles are shifting, and there ain't nothing we could do about that. That's that's natural. It's reality.
That's right. Yep. Hey, quick question for you.
I think we are shifting into a more positive energy type of flow, and it's called Age of Aquarius. It's actually happening. We've already moved into it. We've moved out of the age of Pisces, which is Fisher of Men, which is, if you believe, which was the time of Jesus and all that, 2,000 years. And we're in the age of Aquarius. Look it up. It's freaking kind of mind-blowing. And the frequency thing is mind-blowing. And I think everything's changing. And, we're fighting back, basically. We're fighting off all of the wicked. A lot of the wicked is being taken down right now. It's happening every day. And that's just how I feel about it. And I honestly think that it's all positive. And did they have a New World Order? Yes. Are we destroying it? Yes. Did they have a New World Order coin they were going to use? Yes. Was it Facebook coin? I don't know, but man, it sure makes sense. What do you think, HODL?
Yeah, no, I mean, there's so much going on in that, in that direction. It's definitely crazy. Hey, quick question for you. Are you anywhere near, are you anywhere near, are you near your guitar by any chance?
My guitar?
Yeah.
No, I just got home, actually. Why? What's up?
Oh, so it's XRP Carolina's birthday, apparently. And so I figured if you're near your guitar, you could play a quick happy birthday for him over the phone.
That's funny. Yeah, I wouldn't even know how to do happy birthday, to be honest with you. I'd have to hear it out.
You got that
That's
funky
funny,
thing.
man.
Yeah.
I can sing him a happy birthday.
There we go. Can you sing?
I can do a Marilyn Monroe for him. I'm just kidding.
Anyhow.
Like to the president. Remember the JFK?
Yeah. Happy birthday to you.
Well, happy birthday, XRP Carolina.
Happy birthday. Good to have you on the show for your birthday. That's awesome.
I'm happy to be hanging out with you, HODL.
Yeah, man, it's good to have you on too. It's great. So
How many? Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, how many people do we have?
Let's see, we got 32 people in the chat right now. So
Oh, really? Nice.
yeah, it's awesome.
That's a nice little crowd.
Yeah, it's a good crowd here. First to get this phone thing going, which is awesome. Yeah, so do it dead quiet, Maryland. That's an easy one, right?
What's that?
Carl
Say
Lewis
that
has
again?
been throwing up some really funny stuff as we're going, and then he says, "Jeff, this is serious. Stop laughing." That's funny.
Right on. Yeah. I just got done eating, and I was sitting in my car while you had me on, and then I drove for part of the way, so that worked out really good.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, they just passed a new law down in Florida where you're no longer allowed to text and drive anymore, which is probably a good thing.
You guys just passed that?
Yep, they just passed it. It just went active July 1st.
Dude, they've had that here for quite a while, man, and then they changed it to where you had to have your phone mounted or whatever to be able to talk on it. You had to have full hands free, whatever. I kind of was faking it. I had the phone up by my head, and then I put it down on my center console for a little bit. And
okay.
It was reverberating off of the center console through the speakerphone, so it actually worked out.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. You can't even hold a phone in Georgia. Oh, I didn't know that.
What's that?
It says Gaming Crypto said in Georgia we can't hold our phone.
Well, yeah, you're not supposed to hold the phone. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Wow. You have to, like where I'm at in California, you have to have it hands free. It has to be mounted and be hands free to where you're not shuffling around to try to mess with it. You know what I mean? Because you can't really outlaw that part, because if you did that, then you would be messing with all of the factory deals they have for the cars, right? I mean, you wouldn't be able to have that in your car then, because they have the factory where you tap into the car system and you talk through a mic or whatever through the car, and then it's on a big screen on your dash and all that. I mean, I don't have nothing that fancy.
But yeah, well, down in Florida, it's crazy. Everybody's a bad driver down here. It's insane.
Dude, people
turn left from the right lane. People on their phone. Nobody signals. It's too difficult to flick the signal on. So.
Yeah, dude. We have a daily, and it don't matter the age. I mean, you think, only teenagers do it or whatever. It don't matter the age of the person. They are texting on their phone. They're freaking on Facebook. They're literally swerving around. They are literally, there's statistics that show that it is more dangerous for them being on their social media apps or texting than it is to be drunk. I mean, then you take drunk and talking or being on the phone and just looking at the screen. I mean, it's just a bad combination.
Yeah, it's bad. That is bad news.
I'm gonna turn on my computer so I can check out this freaking stream. So what do we got going on? Was someone else gonna call in?
Yeah, I think I can only get one person to call in at a time. I haven't got that sophisticated to get multiple people calling in. But I think we lost Crypto Sifu. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he's still on or not.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I appreciate you having me on, because I was able to actually get out a few things that I've been thinking about. And,
that's awesome, man.
And to hear that I was actually missed on Friday, that's kind of cool,
Yep. Yeah, definitely. CAK had asked a question here, and I got to go back up. He said, let's get back on track. I don't know where we went, but he said, how long, here's a question, how long before the escrow is sold off? 4 years. They put every time they pull something out of escrow, it goes back into escrow for 5 years, right? It goes in for a 60-month term, or was it initially? It was 55 months. 55 months. Sorry. Yeah, it's 55 months. So they put it back in at the 56th month. So it's constantly rotating through. Obviously, every time they pull out of escrow, then they use a portion of it, and so whatever's not used is then put back into escrow at the 56th month. So it's constantly coming up. And in order to make that change, I believe that you would need a vote, of the validators. So it would be interesting to see at one point, they're going to start using, maybe they'll start using the entire escrow, and then it'll all burn out within that 55 month term.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about the amounts of XRP and how long it's going to take this or that. I think it's going to the whole amount that has been created, it is going to all be needed, and that's what's going to cause the price to really go crazy. And the fact that you can break down one XRP into 1 million drops, that just shows you how big it's going to be. I think they're going to need every bit of that XRP eventually. I mean, I don't know how they'll distribute it, how many years it'll take, but
yeah,
it's crazy. It's like mind-boggling some of the numbers you can come up with on this stuff.
Yeah, it is. It really is. There's just so much. I mean, this space is. There's always something new happening, constantly developing. CAK said, "Let's vote to burn the hell out of it."
Yeah, they're burning XRP at the same time. So that's insane.
Yeah, yep. It really is. Really is. So, let's see who else. Who else we got? Any other comments that kind of flew past while it was a lot of comments going on here about other things. We're talking about laws of cell phones. So kind of bounced. All right, we're talking about birthdays and all that good stuff. All right, now we're back down here at the bottom. So, all right, one other thing here that I was thinking about it. This kind of came up on the stream the other day. Which would have been, I guess, yesterday morning, which has to do with, people, that are leaving XRP, that are, a little bit weak in terms of weak hands, and they're moving on. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that they're fools and they're going to regret it. They're going to regret it, like in a lot of ways, Pizza Boy or Pizza Guy, whatever they want to call him. The way that he spent, what was it, 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas? I mean, that's insane. So they're kind of going to be in the same boat. Hopefully none of them jump off a bridge or anything like that, especially if they held a lot of it.
Right.
But I think patience is a virtue, and the people that can see, and the ones that are blind, they can't see. I mean, you can only help so many people. It's just like with the global reset, the Great Awakening, the spiritual awakening, the changing of the guard, the changing of monetary policies, and the availability of access to everyone in the world, or you can basically just access everyone, right? I mean, you literally can tune in to everyone out there and either sell a product or whatever you want to do. I think people that get it. The other ones that don't, they just never will,
Yeah. Hey, what do you think about the Yeti coin? I'm pretty excited about the Yeti coin, and I'm gonna go all in on it. I think.
I don't even know what the hell that is. What is it? Is it a joke?
Yeah. It's
like, have you ever seen a Yeti? No, but you heard a lot about it, but you don't know what it is. And
that's right. Gonna go all in. I'm going long on the Yeti coin.
Going long on the Yeti coin,
so
dude. That's funny.
Matt Richter brought that up. He said, I sold all my XRP for the Yeti coin. So, yeah, Chip and I were talking about that the other night, and we're talking about the Yeti coin, and we're going to have the Yeti cartoon character that's going to go along with the Yeti coin, so it's going to be pretty sweet.
Oh, that's right. I did hear Chip say something about it. That's why I didn't know if it was real or what, but you guys are funny, dude. It's like the OTC thing. It's like, yeah, I'm down with OTC, but yet it doesn't mean what I think it means. And then there's like some secret you guys are working on, and we don't know what it is. And I'm fucking anxious to find out, man.
Yeah, I hope the Yeti coin will factor into it. That'll be pretty sweet. But everyone needs to have a coin. But on another note, what do you think about BTR, man, and Bitrue? Man, I'm so uncertain about that exchange. And then I'm watching BTR, and I'm still kicking myself for not getting the what is it, BNB? What's the Binance digital asset? Man, that thing. I saw that when it was low, and then it kind of blew up. And now it's like 30 something. And I'm looking at BitTrue. I'm like, man, I don't know about those guys.
Yeah, I don't really know. I wanted to buy VeChain through there. I guess Binance, they're not going to stop us from buying until like September.
Yeah. Yep.
That's not too far off. I don't know any other places to even get VeChain other than BitTrue and Binance. So as far as BitTrue goes, I just don't know. As long as they're stand up, and they're going to reimburse everyone of the losses. The problem I see though is that if you're giving a company like that all your information, and you usually have to freaking dox yourself pretty damn well, right, to get on an exchange.
Yep.
What's happening to all the personal information? I mean, it's not just about crypto. It's about your freaking identity and everything. I'm protected. I have ID Shield.
Yep.
It's actually the second in line to the other one, LifeLock. It's only second in line. I mean, it's freaking amazing what they do for you. But even though I have that protection, I don't want my identity stolen. I've had it stolen before. That would be one of my big concerns.
Yep. Yeah. And that I'm just still a little bit uncertain. I'm still not comfortable with them yet. I don't know. Here's another. Here's someone. Annalise George said,
I wouldn't buy one of their coins. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I mean, you take a couple $100 and throw it in there if it's in the 0.00 something. But other than that, yeah, I don't like it. WB, remember, avoid byte BTC. There's others like that, that are just not good. And then John Crandall says, buy those coins if you want, just never go to bed. And so there's so much going on here, I mean, I'm looking at everyone's comments. Annalise George said, I've heard that some people can't get their money out of BitTrue. What threw me off with BitTrue is that they were promising people basically free money to put money on their exchange, and they're just drawing people in that way. And I'm looking at it, I said, you know what? I don't like it. I don't like that draw. I don't like this carrot that they're dangling. It just didn't make sense.
Right. A lot of perks and stuff. I get it, but to be, if they would have had all those things going on, right, and then not get hacked and not have the controversy, they probably would have blew up really big. But you look at like the banks. Like if I take $1,000 to my bank and I deposit it in my account, guess what? Because of fractional banking, now they have $9,000 to play with.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So is BitTrue, by having you hold your coins on there, I guess they're playing with the bank's money, or what do they call that? The house money.
Yep.
If you're doing your what is that, crypto piggy bank or whatever the frick that thing, crypto piggy or whatever that was called.
Yeah. I don't like the idea of it. Just a little nerve wracking. So here, XRP Hodler brought up another question here. Let's see. He said, when XRP skyrockets, wouldn't all of the Ripple employees retire? Who would work there? They've got to be loaded up on XRP.
Well,
that idea. Kind of like the Microsoft people, though.
Honestly, I think that Ripple's going to go public one of these days. You know what I mean? And because they're already a proven company. They're not like a Lyft or Uber where they don't ever make any profit. And it's like, oh, well, we'll make profit in a decade or something. You know what I mean? Just crazy, the shit that's going on. And they're worth billions of dollars, right? Ripple is a proven company, and they're going to be even more proven in the future. So I see them going public, possibly, and you're going to be able to invest that or be, profit sharing with them on that. People are going to want to work there. I think it's going to be an amazing, upstanding company that is going to be a beacon for all things good and all, other companies and CEOs to not be corrupt and just do the right thing, and be transparent. So
Carl Lewis said, "You're not suggesting, Jeff, that if it sounds too good to be true, then it's bit true." It's a bit true. It's not. That's funny. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's funny. I love it. I love it, dude.
That's hilarious.
What else they got?
Hilarious. Man, so all sorts of Annalise George said BitTrue reminds me of BitConnect.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wish Uphold would bust out and I mean obviously if Uphold, I imagine if Uphold brought on VeChain, I mean that could maybe make it boost, and I kind of want to buy it where it is right now, but if Uphold was able to have VeChain or even a Digibyte, I actually like Digibyte too myself. Or if they, I think they have Tron. Digibyte, I can't remember if Uphold has Tron or not. Anyways,
no, they don't have Tron.
What's that?
Uphold does not have Tron.
Okay, there you go. Because I was at one point going to buy Tron too, and that's probably why I didn't buy it. I just, I don't know. I've been a little burnt out on trying to go on other exchanges, and I did actually apply for Binance at one point. Was it last year? And I just gave up on it because it was just too much work at the time. I was trying to sell a house, was fixing it up, and I just gave up. But it is a lot of work. It's like pulling teeth, to try to get on an exchange nowadays.
Yeah, no, I know. It definitely is. It definitely is.
Seems like it. And then, also Binance is going to be closing down. Who knows when they're going to reopen? And
they're going to open. They're going to open up. There's going to be a U.S. Binance operation, so that's going to be interesting. They're definitely leveraging themselves to compete in this space.
What is going on behind the scenes with that one? The bad deal with, what was it, Bitfinex or Bittrex? I think it was Bitfinex. Bitfinex, Tether, and Binance, and Tron, and all of them were involved. Remember that, where they were like trying to scam the price?
Yep.
So we haven't heard anything else on that in a while. So who knows what's going to happen with that?
I don't know. I mean, there's still so much going on in this space. Just like, and that's why you still need a little bit of regulation. Regulation is important. Especially considering what happens, and you think about it from a banking perspective or the exchange, whatever. There has to be some regulation. That's just all there is. Let me see here. Snorter XRP said BitTrue is an official XRapid partner. How institutions will use XRapid when it's backed by exchanges like BitTrue?
Well, I forgot that they were partnered with them, because weren't they talking about being like a liquidity provider for them or something?
I think that was their plan, or either that or they're planning on using XRapid. But if they're using XRapid, that makes them a customer or a client. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know. That's an interesting point. However, if you just if you have a partner like that, or you have a client like that, they're calling them partners, whatever it might be, that doesn't really detract from what you're doing. If that's whatever your client does. I mean, you can't control them. But again, if they're using the XRapid platform, if they're developing them into being a liquidity provider at some point, that could be. I mean, and really, they're in their infancy, and I think that's what scares me the most. They are a liquidity provider, Pickle Rick said. So they're still in their infancy, and it's just, I guess, just the way they are presenting themselves. And there could be, absolutely nothing wrong with them. They could be a perfectly fine, company. However, it's just there's things that just concern me about them. So that's it. That's all they're. That's really all it is. It's not a matter of, are they really good? I think it's something that needs further investigation, I guess, is my point.
Well, you know what? I think between you and Chip, even myself, sometimes I don't always get it if I'm not totally tuned into a certain subject or say a company, a person, or whatever, if I'm not really tuned into them, I can be like fooled, but usually I can pick up on stuff pretty good. And I know that you guys picked up on that crypto attorney guy, and you guys were spot on. That guy was such a fucking scam, you know?
Yeah, that guy, you know, what a piece of work. What a piece of work that guy was. Man. Yeah.
And that girl, that one lady, I guess she was supposedly an attorney. She called him out, and he fucking disappeared. You know.
Yep.
But I mean, you know, certain people are really tuned in at a high level, and they pick up on everything. Like, you cannot put any bullshit past them at all, right? They don't give you that benefit of the doubt. Their feelers are always up, and I kind of sense that with Chip. I think you're probably on the same level. So I would trust your guys' instinct. I hope that we're wrong about BitTrue, because we need to get all, you know, and it's still early, so we need to get all of the bad actors out of the way. You know, all the Mount Gox type people need to go.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, you know, with BitTrue, I did sign up, you know, to use their platform, and I haven't. You know, I've been thinking about their BTR, and that's you know, the line of question. But I think, you know, Cryptopreneur 17, you know, brought up a good point. Said, did anyone ever consider they're using trading fee to cover the power piggy till they blow up and don't need what does this say? Insensitive programs anymore. Incentivized, I think, you know, incentive based programs. But you know, there's just a lot. And someone else said, you know, don't pick on them if you don't know enough about them. That was Mr. Bigman. You know, or talk bad about them. Really, just a matter of you know, looking at just how they present themselves up front, and just some concerns. And I think those are valid. You know, that everyone needs to address. And you know, and I think that's what's important about the community, is that we're able to, you know, discuss things out in the open and figure it out, you know, and then people present, you know, other opinions, or do further research and come back and say, hey, you know what, this is what we found out, and we think it's really important, you know. Cryptopreneur mentioned Bezos ran Amazon at a loss for a long time. Yeah, and he did, you know, and people kept, you know, pulling, the investors kept putting money in. You know, and look where Amazon is today, which is, you know, pretty impressive.
Yeah, but you know what else? A lot of people don't realize also that Amazon was backed by some very, very, very uncouth players, and propped up by one of our secret agencies. So they need not forget about that. There's a lot more to Amazon than meets the eye.
Yeah. So, Mr.
You know,
go ahead.
I was going to say, my personal feelings on Amazon is that they were created to take over everything that we freaking buy, to where if you weren't doing the right thing in society, just like they have the social score in China, they also have the social score here that is real. My buddy found it online. He found his social score, and I was blown away. Now, I think honestly that Amazon was being created to take everything over, so that when you needed to buy something, you had to go through there. And if they wanted to cut you off from society, all they had to do was cut you off from Amazon, and bam, you're done. You cannot buy anything, right? So I don't know. And then Facebook was another tool that they were using, and I think that maybe they were going to do that global coin as the new, you know, currency, because a certain secret agency created that also. So there's a lot going on, man. Don't always look at the company and think it's just because it's doing good that it's perfect. And, you know, it's like saying Apple's perfect. Apple is very corrupt too, and in bed with China. So
right, yeah. There's a lot of things that we'll never know about, you know, with all of these things that go on, you know. So it's just interesting, you know, just really interesting, you know. So yeah, you know. So either way, you know, who was Tina Hall has BTR, you know. So and it looks like it's gonna, to me, you know, if it moves in the direction, if BitTrue moves in the direction that Binance moved. Now, here's the thing, is that when I first started trading on Binance, I was really concerned about Binance in the beginning too. And there were some things they were doing, but I was concerned about Binance mainly because it was a Chinese exchange. You know, and
Oh yeah,
you know, and
yeah,
then
exactly.
especially since the whole space was new to me at the time, you know, I didn't know anything about anything, and I'm just researching stuff, and then, you know, then I decided to open up an account with Binance and started buying some things over there, you know, but initially it was also hard to buy anything in the U.S., you know, so you know, even with XRP, I had to go to Bitstamp in the beginning.
Oh, sorry, I don't know. My dog just.
I don't know if anybody uses Bitstamp anymore over here in the U.S.
I switched you into my earphones on my phone.
Okay.
So can you hear me good?
Yeah, yeah, yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny. I plan on having multiple people on over this hour. We had a great conversation going this, you know, for this whole hour, and I was afraid to rock the boat, you know, when we got booted the last time. But but I think this was definitely a great stream so far. You know, and we're getting some great comments from everybody.
Spur of the moment.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, so I've been working on this, put this together, and then, you know, next week I definitely want to start, you know, getting this going. I'll try to do this every Sunday night and have an open mic night like this and bring, you know, different people in from the community. If I do one, if I can do multiples. But now I know I've got to start it off on this stream until I figure out why OBS has been booting me out. But WB mentioned that Bitstamp was working on a U.S. thing, a U.S. exchange or something. Kickboy says, "Why is Auburn barking?" At first, I saw it go up. I thought, "Why are you banking?" And it's
What's that? What's that? Say that again.
Kickboys was asking why you were barking in the background, and Matt Richter said it's because you're out chasing cars.
Come here, baby.
But yeah, but WB said yeah.
We got Kickboy in the room. What's up, Kickboy?
Yeah, we got Nick Black checking in from LA. Yeah, so
right on.
Let's see.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for everyone for hanging out.
Yeah, it's awesome. Mr. Bigman said, I already tried moving some Tez coins off of BitTrue and it works fine if you put your address and tag in manually. All right, so there's no way to save. So you have to manually enter it into BitTrue. All right, so Mr. Bigman is the one that we can check back in with regarding BitTrue and has experience right now trading on and off of BitTrue. So it'd be good to get some feedback as we move forward here and get some more comments, and Tina Hall as well. So this would be good to stay on top of this.
I know Bones, he swears by BitTrue, man. So, you know, I do have a lot of faith in Bones. He's pretty smart. I hope, you know, that they just do the right thing, continue to do the right thing, and hopefully they don't get hacked again. They need to figure out some better security. That's all I know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's a tough one because I saw Mt. Gox happen, dude. I saw it happening as it was happening, not just read it in an article. And, you know, I was in the middle of it as far as that stuff going on. I was seeing all that stuff, Silk Road, all these different things that were happening.
Yeah.
FinCEN cracking down. I thought, honestly, Bitcoin was dead. 2015, I was like, Bitcoin's dead. It's not going to
Hey,
survive.
see ya, Annalise George.
They won't let it.
Good having you on. Yeah, no, that's...
I was wrong.
Yep. Yeah, so here's... So just real quick, Annalise George says, I'm just saying bye to Annalise George as she signs off. Now, Nick Black said, you know, I have not an insignificant amount of assets over there rocking a 7.3% interest. That's a little bit tantalizing, you know, when you see the Uphold and they're affiliated with somebody. Binance is working on something like this. BitTrue, you know, offering up interest on digital asset that's held on their exchange. I kind of like that tendency that they're moving in that banking direction and offering up interest that's so much greater than any interest that you're ever going to get at a bank right now. Especially you go over to France, you know, and they've got negative interest rates on their bond that they're putting out there. Cred on Uphold. That's right, WB. Thanks for throwing that out there.
Where you're having to pay to have your money in their bank that they're freaking timesing by 9. When you put
Exactly.
$1 in there, they times it by 9.
Yeah, yep, exactly. So so
What a
I
scam.
like this idea. I really like the idea that that you can generate profit percentage on your holdings, because right now my main concern overall with exchanges is is the security aspect of it. But until an exchange is fully insured and backed, like a bank FDIC insured. Now, even there, it's a little disconcerting if that bank ends up going bankrupt, or something happens. You're gonna have to get in line, but eventually the government, agency that backs up the insured, is gonna have to, support that and pay up, but they only cover up to $250,000 per account, so
Right.
those are a lot of the different things that I look at on an exchange. If you want me to put my money on an exchange, especially a significant amount of digital asset or whatever it might be, I'd want to make sure that it's FDIC insured, that there's a third party reputable insurance provider backing up that amount of money in case something happens. I think that's important. Otherwise, you're taking a big risk, for a smaller gain, in my opinion. But I like that idea. I want to be able to take my money right now and get a 7% interest on it. I think that would be
Hey,
great.
so is that the same as staking? Because I remember when EOS came out, or it hadn't even launched yet, and I remember I was learning about it. I messed around with EOS for a little bit, and I got out of it. But they were talking about staking, and I think Ethereum may have been even talking about it. Is that the same idea as staking, where you're holding on to, you're sitting on the? I think staking is different because you're probably personally sitting on it yourself,
I think it's different.
and you
Yeah,
would
it's
stake
definitely
it.
different. Yeah.
You would stake it, and then you would get like a voting right or something. I think that's what that was. But I guess the banking side of it's different. That's basically, like you said, it's like a bank where they're sitting on the money, and then by you having it sitting there, you're getting paid for that. And then they're using it. Basically, they're using that to run their setup pretty
Yeah.
much. I mean,
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Spanish Fly brought up something here. I'm just going down, but cryptopreneur mentioned. He said fractional reserve banking is far worse than 10-1 today. Spanish Fly said, why isn't BTR listed on CoinWatch Live or CMC? The price can only be found on their own site. In my opinion, they can manipulate the price that way. There's definitely something to be said for that. That nobody is currently listing BTR. I think the only place you can get BTR is on BitTrue. It's similar to the Binance. What is it again? Someone put that up there. BNB. Is it BNB?
yeah.
Like a bed and breakfast? BNB, is that their thing?
So is the BitTrue coin even launched yet?
Yeah, no, it's available. You can get it. And right now it was sitting at like 20 something cents. And it opened, I tracked it back to inception, and it was trading around 10 cents. People got in early on it, and the early, they got in, really low. But then it was like around 10 cents, 16, 17 cents. And then I think today it was around 20 something.
Yeah, but I think what it is, though, is that a lot of companies, this is like the new way to crowdfund and crowdsource your companies. And rather than using the angel investors and stuff like that, they're using these coins. Obviously, people have a different use case for them in general, but a lot of companies are actually funding themselves from these coins, kind of like what Ripple's doing, right?
To an extent, I think it's a little different because, what happens is that when we talk about a security, I think, that a BitTrue or even a Binance, they slightly run the risk of issuing these digital assets that could quickly be deemed a security. So if you look at a BTR, what's the purpose of the BTR? If the purpose of the BTR is for them to raise money, is there an expectation and anticipation that BTR, that by holding that BTR, that the price is going to then go up based on the actions of BitTrue? Are you then expecting some sort of a profit, a gain, based on the activities of what's going on over at BitTrue, and that's the basic tenets of the Howey test. So could it then be deemed a security? Because that's exactly what they're doing. They're basically looking to raise money, and they're almost securitizing. They're issuing these as it almost seems like that. I mean, I could be way off. But it's just very close to being a security.
But couldn't they use the argument, no, we're using this as a discount coin? Because that's what Binance does. When you hold that coin and you're doing trades, that you get a discount on the trades. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
You could, but it still has its own value. So now you're buying these coins at $36 or whatever per coin.
Yeah.
Well, just, I don't know. Those are all really good questions,
Maybe that's why it's not on any other exchange, because maybe it will be considered a security. And the thing is that security tokens are already being created, and they're already building the infrastructure for the tokens, and they got ideas for them already. They got the wording, they got everything's there, the plans are there. I don't think it's bad for every single thing out there to be a security. It's just that we don't want our particular one to be definitely a security, or any of the other ones that we're invested in. But I mean, if it happens to some of them, that's just how it goes. But I think XRP is already down the road. It's already out of the box. It's already made many deals. It's already approached the system. When Bitcoin was running away from the system, Ripple, the company, was running towards the system and saying, hey, we want to work with you within the system. So they're already golden, but all the rest, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, no. I mean, when it comes to XRP, XRP, just based on, everything, on its face, it doesn't meet the same test as a security. It doesn't, so, but here's some other, interesting points, especially as you're looking at investing money. Nick Black brought this up. Uphold makes you lock up assets. BitTrue has immediate unfreeze on the assets gaining interest. Each asset is guaranteed for 1 million. What is that? 1M, 1 million per coin. I don't know what that is referenced exactly. Bubba Shipes says that's why New York is so hard to set up shop in. Too many license, insurance, regulations to prevent harm. This is good. Just so many great comments here. Let me see. Nick Black. It's a marketing effort by BitTrue. Direct marketing. Staking is about appropriating your voting rights based on a delegate's consensus system of voting. So that's where you're staking.
Right.
Okay,
right.
This is great. This is awesome.
That's what I was saying earlier. I think that it was something to do with voting. I was kind of getting it confused with the other part, which you were saying was perfect. It was like they're doing a form of banking,
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, geez, there's a lot of comments here. Hang on. Let me see.
I mean, if you think about it, if BitTrue ends up being a good upstanding company, right, and you're doing this I won't call it staking, but you're allowing them to have your coin sitting there, you're kind of getting paid twice. You're getting paid for what the future increased value will be, and also the interest that they're giving you as it's there. So I don't know how they pay you out, if they just pay you out in more BitTrue coin. I mean, how does that work? But
yeah,
that could be good for certain people, but not everyone should be doing that. Not everyone should be trading every day. I wouldn't suggest any of those things to really anyone, especially if you're new. I would suggest you go buy what you want to buy, take it off, put it in a safe place, and hold on to it, HODL.
Yep. Yeah. So Mr. Bigman said BitTrue is already KYC compliant, which is important. That's definitely a big step forward. Nick Black says you're paid daily in the asset you're invested in. So I think that's important. Those are all good points. Those are all the positives of the BitTrue. Those are all the things they offer. So we got people that are definitely working on, and Cryptopreneur brought up something that I think is interesting, but it kind of goes back to what you're talking about with Amazon. It says in the not so distant future, your refrigerator will tell your healthcare provider you're eating too much Rocky Road and ho-hos. And that's why you have diabetes, and therefore why your card won't allow you to buy any more of that candy. It's called the Internet of Things. It's the Internet of Things.
If the freaking powers that were, which are becoming no longer, these powers are becoming past tense. If they had their way, that's what the future would hold. It would be on that level. It would not only be micro payments, but the powers that be would be micromanaging everything you did, everything you think, everything you feel, and everything you're going to do. So that's where I'm saying that's where the change is coming in, is that all those things are going to be shifted. And there's going to be some Alexas and some freaking Google stuff and all that, listening and spying, but how long that'll be, I don't know. I think all that's going to go away. I'm sorry, I went on a tangent.
That's cool, man. Cryptopreneur said, he said they made crypto, Rain. That's his point. That's the point, is that. I know they created crypto, but we're taking it away from them, just like we're taking away their thunder in so many other ways. Yeah,
I'm telling you. There's a new sheriff in town, and the world is changing. So either get on the ride or get the hell out the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. There's
That's
so much going on.
That's my point. What's yours? No.
I like that.
What's yours?
Mr. Bigman. Mr. Bigman said when they listed XRP to use for buying other coins on the exchange, XRP itself has a built-in KYC of all transactions. Yep. And so,
dude, XRP and the Ripple net are so freaking crazy. I mean, on all the different things that you can do with it, and how it's all like created, within it, multiple layers of different opportunities. What I see it, they're all opportunities. And the longer you can hodl, the better off you'll be. And then if you're able to you're holding a certain amount, right? You're happy, you know where it's going. And then you start to learn about other projects, because there's a lot of good ones out there and there's a lot of junk. So knowing what you can see and your gut, that to me is exciting, because, I'm planning on doing other things, but I only got one thing in mind right now as far as another coin, and that at this point would be VeChain. So that's what I'm excited about.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
XRP though is the king.
Yep. Now let me go back up here. So Spanish fly, and this is important, so this is something that you definitely want to talk to your CPA about or your accountant about, but you definitely want to make sure that you're observing any taxable event. And as Spanish fly mentioned, that remember that airdrops are a taxable event. And so that's important. If it's small or large, we got to make sure we track it. You make a few minor errors in this new fledgling space, that is, insignificant numbers, it's not the end of the world. However, as these numbers, start adding up, talk to your CPA and accountant, and they'll let you know. You definitely want to track it. The other key, part that concerns me about putting money onto a foreign exchange is that has to be reported. So it has to be reported if you hold over $10,000 in value in asset on that foreign exchange. If you're holding money on a U.S. based exchange, it's none of their business, how much you hold there. But if you do hold on that foreign exchange, whether it was a Binance or a BitTrue or whatever, there's definitely some concern, if it's a foreign exchange.
Right.
BitTrue is a foreign exchange, right? Is BitTrue foreign?
At one point,
or is it BitTrue is foreign, right? It's a foreign exchange, or is it U.S. based? I don't remember.
Well, I know that they're in the Bay Area.
Oh, it's U.S. based, right? I don't know which one I'm thinking about.
They're in the Bay Area, so
okay.
They're trying to play ball in Silicon Valley. They're
Singapore.
trying to do it right.
So they have an office in Silicon Valley, but it's based in Singapore.
Is that what it is?
That's what yeah. I knew their main office is overseas, But the question is whether or not they have an office in the U.S. or is it all in Singapore?
Yeah, it's confusing, dude, because like Uphold is here, but yet when they go to do the transaction, it's like coming out of Germany or something. I mean, it's wild, dude.
Right.
It's still the Wild West. It's the Wild West right now still.
What the heck's the AARP net? Bubba Shipes has put that up there a couple times. I don't know what the AARP net. I don't know.
I know that by next year, dude, everything's changed.
Wait a minute.
What?
Hey, sorry. AARPnet or a RAPAnet? A RAPAnet. I don't know. I don't know what either one of those are.
No, I don't either. But what I was going to say is that, a lot changes in crypto, right, within a year or whatever. So, by the end of next year, everything's going to change. Everything will be kicking in, and it's going to speed up. I really believe I'm still standing strong to after November of 2020, it's just going to freaking just take off. And everything that we talk about every day is all going to come out, and even more that we don't know about, right? More that we speculate about more than anything because we don't know exactly.
Yeah.
So the MoneyGram thing right now is huge, but that's going to be a drop in the bucket compared to everything else in the future.
Yeah. There's so much going on. It's crazy.
It's the beginning, though. MoneyGram's the beginning for sure. I mean, it really is. And Walmart to World, all those connections. I mean, it can't get any bigger than that as far as right now goes. SBI has been kind of a teaser, but that's going to happen eventually too.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to it.
And then MUFG, which sounds funny to say, but the Mitsubishi Bank and all those things, and you have all the big banks here. You have big banks around the world, central banks even. I mean, it is just, you can't deny it. The only people that deny XRP are the ones that either don't know what the hell they're talking about, they're asleep at the wheel, or they're so deep into whatever project they're into, they can't even see anything else. They're blind.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So Bubba Shipes, so ARPANET was the original internet, which was really founded by the U.S. Department of Defense, ARPA, which is Advanced Research Project Agency.
You talking about DARPA?
ARPANET.
I thought it was DARPA, DARPA.
Let me see. I just looked it up.
DARPA is the one that created LifeLog, which ended up the day that they shut it down in Congress. LifeLog, which was gathering everyone's information and making basically profiles on everyone. Basically, the next day or that very same day, it became Facebook, or Facebook was created.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is DARPA. It's ARPA, but it is DARPA. So ARPANET. So it's the ARPANET, which was the precursor. But it was founded by DARPA, which is the Defense Department, right? Which is I think this would be a Defense Department Advanced Research Projects Agency Network, which is ARPANET. So they called it ARPANET. Right. Yep. And that was how they were communicating originally. So now you got all these other things going on. Yep.
We'll just say that the people that were running those programs are not good people, and they're not our friends, and neither is Facebook or LifeLog or DARPA or anything. None of them are our friends. Amazon's not your friend. Don't believe that. Don't believe anything that.
And how can you say that? I love Amazon. And I love Amazon. Come on. I love Amazon. If it wasn't for Amazon, I wouldn't do any shopping.
That's great. That's great. But, Amazon's not your friend. I'm going to tell you what.
No, I know. And every time I go to Whole Foods and now they sucker you in to scan your QR code and like, oh, we're going to give you $3 off or whatever it is because you get your discount as a Prime. I'm like, oh, there you go. You're tracking everything I'm buying now. Not only buying on your site, but now you're tracking everything that I eat. So now you know what I'm buying all the way around.
And then they sell that to the fucking insurance companies that are all part of the social score that you're going to get eventually. And your social score is going to have your car insurance rating. It's going to have your medical insurance rating. It's going to have your employability rating. It's going to have your actual social media rating, which is probably where you get judged whether you're a free thinker or a zombie. And then you're going to have your criminal rating, whatever that may be. If you're not a criminal, then you won't have one. It'll be good. So you're going to have all these different ratings. That's where we're headed. Scary, but yeah. Anyways, I went on another rant.
Yeah. And there's a lot of great comments coming out, on this stream. I'm looking, everything we're talking about, what people are saying on here, really awesome. Yep. So
yeah, we're stirring their brains and stuff, and they're stirring mine, and then they're stirring yours, and it just keeps flowing.
Oh man, it's awesome. It's really awesome. So let me let me see, what time is it here? I've been on longer than anticipated. It's almost 10 o'clock. It's an hour and a half. Definitely planning on wrapping it up here. But man, I appreciate you coming on. This is awesome. I appreciate everybody for bouncing in and the comments and feedback. Absolutely, outstanding. This is how we all learn together, and uncover different things. It's fantastic.
Right. I agree. I appreciate everyone being here too, and I appreciate HODL letting me participate and try out his new setup. Oh. And I plan on getting Zoom working in the future where we have video and all that. I'm gonna hook up with Bob Moneybags, and then we'll figure it out too for you, HODL. Also, we'll start using Zoom more often.
Yep, that'd be awesome. Yeah, so I'm actually using Zoom for this. I got Zoom figured out. You're calling in on a Zoom number. So it's actually pretty cool. The way I interfaced it into OBS. My problem is when I try to do the video part is that I can't through the video I can't use the green screen properly. So it throws things off. So
yeah, I don't understand. You were having problems with that before, right? When you use Zoom at all, period, you can't use your green screen?
So I figured out how to use my own green screen, but not the one through Zoom. So Bubba Stripes. He wants me to replace the O and OTC with my head. So tilt a little bit to the left, and I'm gonna replace the O with my head.
I gotta put you on the spot, man. What does OTC mean to you? Because you have it in the background, and it's got to be something you guys are working on. Can you spill the beans?
Not yet.
Damn it! I hate freaking suspense. I don't like suspense, HODL.
Man, you like the backdrop though? This backdrop's pretty sweet. Chip pulled that together. Yeah. Helped me put that together. It's pretty sweet.
I do, dude. I'm working on a few ideas for my show. I'm going to do a better intro than I haven't really had an intro necessarily lately. So I'm going to do an intro for the show, and yeah, we keep working on it, keep making it better, make the graphics better and everything.
Yeah.
So just keep figuring this stuff out,
That's it, man. That's it. Now Bubba Stripes took a screenshot of me leaning over and putting my head over the O. The hell was I thinking?
That's funny, dude.
That's hilarious, man.
What you should do, you should come up with a graphic that spells HODL, right? It says HODL, and then your head is the O.
Is the O. What a great idea, man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Do it.
That's
do
funny.
It, dude. I'm
like
telling you, that would be freaking cool. Dude. That's your new graphic. Have Alex Yeet do that for you.
That'd be pretty sweet, man. I like that idea. That'd be freaking awesome. Oh man, that's freaking hilarious.
And he really gets into his work,
That's freaking funny. Man.
Maybe have your head cocked sideways, and you got a smirk on your mouth, on your face, and
yeah. That's funny. A party note here. Hang on, let me see. What did he say? Oh, okay. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. But Nick Black brought that up again. Party note. So I just read a press release that Deutsche Bank is getting completely out of equities market. Starting tomorrow, they're unwinding all their positions at an unprecedented rate, and they're laying off 18,000 people. Nick, yeah, we talked about that in the beginning. Glad you threw that out there again, kind of to summarize it, where we started off a lot of the conversation, but stuff's changing. So that's awesome. Clara Snowden said, "Great graphic idea, Rain." So that's gonna be awesome. You gotta figure out how to make that happen.
Funny.
So, but anyhow, all right, I gotta wrap this up. Tomorrow night, 10 p.m. I'm gonna try to be on. I'm traveling tomorrow, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it in time. If I can, I'm definitely gonna be streaming again tomorrow. I might even do a Monday night Mike night, depending. I don't think I'll be able to pull that off when I'm traveling on the road, but anyhow. If for some reason I can't make it on tomorrow night, I'll definitely be on Wednesday night, Monday, Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturdays, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesday and Thursday is usually the XRP Minute, but Chip is somehow YouTube decided that they were going to stop his live streaming career for the next 30, 60 days because of something ridiculous that really didn't even exist. So he's having some issue, getting his live stream back up. But we've been live streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays as well. And then Friday night, Rain, hopefully you'll be back on next Friday.
Yeah, I plan on coming on, and hopefully I can get a guest to come on. We'll see. If not, I'll make it happen.
Awesome. Awesome. And then we've got DNI streams, every day from 9 to 10. Actually, he's stateside. And so I'm actually hoping to meet up with him in August if he's still around. So,
are you serious?
Yeah. Yep.
That's wild.
Yep. So that's it. I think a bit rain. I'll think a bit rain. That's what Carl Lewis says. Bit rain. Just a bit true. So, all right.
Yeah. I love it.
Yep. Yeah, that'd be awesome, Nick. Definitely would like to do that, man. He said hit him up. We should do a live chat, dig into the space. That'd be awesome, man. Would love to do that. Nick, shoot me over your. I'm not sure if I have you on Twitter. If I do, but send me a DM on Twitter. And then let's set something up. That'd be great, So I'll be doing another open mic night. Maybe I can even get you on, this week. But let's work that out, man. That'd be awesome. But shoot me a DM so we can get that set up, and I get your Oh, there you go, right there. All right, that was easy. All right, very cool. I'll write that down. I'll send you I'll make sure I've got you on my Twitter there. So cool. That's it, guys. I gotta run. Rain, man, thank you again for jumping on and being the test guinea pig for the first Sunday mic night. That was awesome. Really, really appreciate it.
Right on, HODL. I appreciate it. I hope everyone has a great rest of their weekend and a great Monday. And hopefully we see you on Monday night. If not, we'll hopefully catch you on Wednesday night.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, guys. All right, thanks. And I'll check you guys out later.
Rain,